I was born over 42 years ago to a Christian family. My father and my mother were of blessed memory. We were Christians who loved God. They taught me about the ways of God, so I knew about God, but I didn't know who God was. And so, in my growing up, I strayed away and began to do all kinds of things. I got into alcohol heavily at a very young age, got into smoking cigarettes at a young age, got into higher institution, began to drink heavily. I did abortions, joined cults, finished school, lived a messy life, got into things like forgery and fraud. I got married, but it still didn't change. I still continued my way of life. My wife would argue with me every day to church. I would argue and complain about the sermon. I would try and do analysis of what the preacher was preaching, and she got very fed up, and she started to go to our own church, and I would sit down at home, take a glass of beer and watch motorsports. That was the kind of life I was living. But the kind of life that I lived took a toll on me, and I was very moody. I was unhappy about the way I was living, and I began to cry out in my heart. It was not until my wife lost her child, she lost a pregnancy, 6 months pregnancy, that my eyes were opened and I calmed down, and I knew that the way I was living my life was very, very dangerous. And if I didn't make a turn and change my life, something bad was going to happen. And so, on a Sunday, it was on my wedding anniversary, 28th of February 2010. I was in church, I was hearing a sermon, and the preacher was talking about God's love, that God has a plan for our lives and want to make us be better than the way we are. And that day, I surrendered my life to Jesus. And my life changed from that day. And I'm going to share briefly of the things that changed in my life. First of all, the Bible began to make sense. I read it and it became alive. I had peace in my heart. There was no more burdens. I was a free man. I was now a happy man. My mood swings had changed. Second thing was that I received the baptism of the Holy Spirit. And when I received the baptism of the Holy Spirit, I became alive. Life became very slow. I was able to figure things out. It's like I was sleeping for many years and I woke up. Another thing God did was that he put me in a group, the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship, and gave me a life of purpose. Being in this fellowship has given me purpose. God has blessed me tremendously, blessed me with a lovely wife, blessed me with 2 beautiful children. My first son is 12 years old. My daughter is 9 years old. This year, my son had a disease that affected his intestine, and he had to do surgery. He did 2 surgeries, one on March, the second one of September. The one of September was about 7-hour surgery, and he came out, he recovered well. He has not been in school from March, but he has resumed school. He's doing well. You will not know that he had that kind of surgery. God has been good to us. He has also blessed my business and blessed my career. Even though I've had setbacks in life, God has used the setbacks and set me up. Now I have a fantastic job. I get to work with top organizations. I've consulted with World Bank, Deloitte. God has expanded me. I work with international organizations. I work remotely with companies outside this country. God has tremendously blessed me. I want to say this to you, that no matter how messed up your life is, there's only one person that can change your life, and his name is Jesus. He changed my life, and he can change yours. My name is Bamigbola. This is my story. Thank you, and God bless.